Hi, everyone. We are up live tonight. Welcome. It's July 20th, 2020. And welcome tonight. Our guest is Dona Cowan, and she has wrote an amazing story and has many stories and many more things to come in the future. So we're really excited to have her tonight. So if you are here, please pop up, show up, and we have a gift for you tonight. Please share where you're from. I am broadcasting tonight from Kyle, Texas. And Donna, where are you from?
I'm from Citrus Heights, California, which is just outside of Sacramento.
Oh, beautiful. Kind of towards that central and north area.
Yes.
Beautiful place. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, welcome. And how's the heat out there?
It's not too bad. It's been hovering in the upper 90s, but it cools down at night, so we get that little
That's
extra.
That is awesome. Here, it does that cool down at night, not till October. So we're looking forward to, kind of getting through those hot days of summer. Anyway, everyone pop up, show up. Looks like we've got some people here. This is wonderful. Welcome. And tonight we are giving away a free copy of Out of Darkness for those that participate, join, and mention into the conversation. It looks like we have Hope here. Hi, Hope from Pine, Colorado. So we are stretching all across the West and the South tonight. And we hope many of you more go ahead and show up live. All right. Well, Donna, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a grandmother. I'm a random fact finder, and I say that because I do find the strangest things important and something to learn new every day. So I don't keep myself into a really tight circle about what I'm willing to learn about. So I am a random fact finder, and I'm sort of a superhero in training, but I think we all are.
That is intriguing. Share more about that idea about being a superhero in training. I love that.
Well, I think that, we look at superheroes as this great, amazing person that just magically appears. And really, we all have that superhero side where we have that magic, that extraordinary part inside of us. We just have to recognize it and bring it out and talk about it and share it with the world, because that is the reason that we are here. We are here to shine our light onto the world so that everybody can learn something new and different from you. That's what makes you unique. That's what makes you, the only person that you are. There's never going to be another person exactly like you with your life experiences. So, this all goes back to this sense of a superhero that's brave and courageous and going out into the world and doing what is right and good for others. So, yes, we all have that superhero inside.
I love that. The power of the superhero inside really helps you to start to focus to say, what can I offer someone else, right? Because you can't be a hero to yourself. Heroes are found helping others. They're looking for things that, maybe someone's in distress. And if we're really thinking about those superheroes like Superman and, all the comics and all those heroes, they're always looking to save the day, to find somebody to help, to reach out beyond themselves. And so making the focus from always being right here to turning outward is something really powerful. How do you bring that in for children in your writing?
Well, in my book, they're middle grade chapter books, which is the 7 to 12-year-old range. And what I'm trying to do is bring a story forward of just normal life and all the choices and moments that we go through where we have to use our life experience to make decisions, and how sometimes those are not always the best decisions, but that's okay. Life is a series of mistakes and missteps where we learn something and then we go forward. And so that's kind of what I want to bring forward in the story with Catt the cat and Simon Cheddar a mouse. They meet under very unusual circumstances. They're from two entirely different worlds, and they meet and they have to kind of overcome their differences and their different cultures and their different opinions about life to go to superhero school together. and to become partners. And ultimately, they become best friends because what they realize very quickly is that they fill that gap in the other one. So, what is so unique about Catt is that she is a little shy and that she does take her time and think about everything that she does and that happens in her life. And Simon's a little more impulsive. He's always ready with a plan and he's ready to just jump in feet first and go. And so, while that's great for Simon and he's very courageous, it's ultimately not always the right thing to do. And so Catt slowing him down a little bit and letting him rethink his plans helps. And then Simon helps Catt come out of her shyness to really try to trust herself and come forward and do the things that she loves to do without worrying about what everybody else thinks.
So, in that concept, was there someone in your real life that any of these characters are kind of patterned after, or are they kind of a compilation of people and experiences that you have lived through your life?
I have to take you back to what inspired this book in the series. I have been writing stories for years and years and years. I mean, since I was a young child. And so as my grandkids came along, I started reading them stories and making up stories. And my one granddaughter, youngest granddaughter, was asking me about my cat and what it was I thought that she did at night when she was gone for hours and hours and she'd come back exhausted. And we came up with this story that she was a superhero saving her friends. And so we kind of created this story. But then I started thinking about, wouldn't it be great if these animals had the same problems and the same issues that my grandchildren are facing? Because when they go to school each day, there are things that they have to do. They have to pick and choose friends, not because of proximity, but because they are good for them. They want friends that are trying or that are focused on the things that they want. They don't want the friends that are holding them back. But a lot of cases, these kids really don't have the opportunity where somebody sits down with them and explains why we do things or why we should choose something over another. And so this is kind of a sneaky way for me to kind of get those lessons in there in a fun little adventure story with a cat and a mouse.
Awesome. That background really establishes how, we can bring things to light for our kids, for anyone. And thinking about a lot of the people who I serve that have left domestic violence or have just really started a new leaf, many of them have children. And unfortunately, those children have experienced really challenging times. So with a character like Catt and Simon, there are opportunities to have the kids read into that. And what you were sharing is maybe this might be that opportunity for them to see, hey, that's a better idea for friendship or how they're treating each other. That's something I want to pattern after. And you can do that through a book. A book is very safe. You can really put a lot of things in there. The characters can experience all these highs and lows and tremendous things. And being superheroes, they can experience quite a bit. And in the safety of someone reading through this and understanding the story, they then can interject or take from those pieces. And it's fantastic, fantastic teaching. This is wonderful. I'm so, so glad that you were able to share this. Now,
well, thank you.
You're welcome. This latest story that you have, share what is the challenge that Catt and Simon are up against with this particular book.
Are we talking about book 2 that's already out, or are we talking about book 3 that's coming in November?
Why don't you share 2 and 3? This is fantastic. Look at this. We've got multiple books coming, some already out.
With the Curiosity of a Cat is where, Catt and Simon are going on to their second class at superhero school, and the teacher tells them because they're superheroes they must learn to fly. So she tells them to go skydiving. And as you can imagine, Simon is thrilled beyond measure, but Catt is like, yeah, no, cats don't jump out of planes. And so they have this argument on the plane, and everybody has already gone off, and they're the last 2, and Simon falls out of the plane, and his parachute doesn't work. So Yeah, so Kat has to gather her newfound courage to go save her best friend or watch him perish. And of course she does, but because they are not thinking, they don't land where they're supposed to. They ended up in the jungle and they find all of these other animals that have been captured by the monkeys, the bad guys in this particular series, in this particular book. And they're capturing the animals and they're trying to sell them back to the humans that live in the real world where Kat is from. And so they're appalled and they're trying to figure out how to get themselves home, but how to save these animals. So book 2 is primarily about trusting yourself. It's about teamwork. It's about having those friends that you can depend on. And it's also because about halfway through the book, they believe they've solved the problem, but they've actually only made it worse. And so
Oh,
I wanted to show that even when things don't go right, it's still okay. It's all about trying. It's all about putting your heart out there on the line and doing the right thing. So that's kind of the main focus of book 2 is about adventure. It is about trying new things, but it's also about putting your heart and your passion into the things that you want to do and not just giving up if there's any kind of obstacle in front of you. Book 3, which is coming out in November, is With the Passion of a Pig. And Catt and Simon are joined by a few of their fellow superhero school students. Patty the pig is leading the charge this time. She is a tech-savvy pig, and they're looking for their town patriarch who is missing. And so they end up going back through the portal that Catt originally came from the real world through to go and try and find her. And when they do, all the animals turn into children except for Catt. So yeah, it's a very big plot twist. And so not only do they have to overcome a strange world for most of them, besides Catt, now they have this communication problem, and they have to kind of feel, as Catt did in the first, that they are kind of a fish out of water. They're in a world that they don't understand. They're having to act as children when they are not, in fact, children. And they're having to navigate it while they're trying to find their missing town matriarch. And what they do is they stumble across a new mystery as to why they wanted all of the animals, because now they've discovered these animals that were being trapped previously and sent here are turning into children. And so they're trying to figure out why they would be wanting more children in the real world. So it's quite the mystery, but in the end, it is about people taking advantage of children and not listening to them and not listening to what they have to say and the importance of their words. So I wanted to make sure that we bring across that, that passion, and that, even when somebody doesn't listen to you, you need to keep speaking the truth. Eventually somebody will listen. So that's kind of the focus for the third book. And in the fourth book, we're going to come back and have another one of the superhero characters take the lead, and it's going to be about doing things that you're not comfortable with.
Okay, so you're really covering subjects and topics that impact a lot of children. I know growing up, being the middle of 5 kids, it was hard to have your voice heard sometimes, right? The poor me in the middle. But truly, it's that concept of believe me and listen to what I'm saying, because they have incredible things. I know Kathy Studer, she popped up for a bit. I know as a child, she experienced very challenging and difficult things. And as a child, if you have had terrible things happen to you and you go to a trusted adult to share this information, you want to be believed. You want to have them take this seriously. So this is a really complex information and study that your characters are going through that might really empower some kids to think, you know what, Catt and Simon did these things, and I can do this too. That sounds really like a conscious thought, but it buries in there. and it starts to bring you energy and light to really share that out. So that is fantastic. So let's
Right.
go back to your first book where it talks about a lot of courage.
Yes.
How does Simon is he just innately born with this courage? Is Catt jealous of it? Like, how does this all come about?
Well, I actually have to tell you about before the book was written. Originally, Simon Cheddar was a minor character. He was just one of the students at superhero school. But this character, when I was writing the book, kept interrupting my sleep. And he's like, no, no, I need a bigger part. I need a bigger part. I need a bigger part. And I'm just like, no, no, Simon, you're fine. You're fine. We'll get to you later. We'll get you a starring role later. And he kept bothering me. And then one night, in the middle of the night, at 2:30 in the morning, I woke up with Simon Cheddar in my ear telling me, who better to teach courage than a mouse? And he famously says in book one that mice wear fear like an old shirt because it's comfortable and worn and they don't know there's anything else. And he's right. If you think about a mouse just going about their daily life, they have to employ so much courage just to go out and do the things that are necessary to find food, to find a safe place to live, and to just go about their life. And so, yes, even though Simon is a little larger than life, he does know a lot about courage just from being a mouse. And he famously says in book one, bravery and courage are not the same thing. Bravery is about facing a fear and overcoming it. Courage is about putting someone else's fear first.
Wow. Can you repeat that again? That is fantastic.
Is bravery and courage are not the same thing. Bravery is about facing your fear. Courage is about putting someone else's fear first.
There again, looking outside of themselves, looking towards someone else, and how can we help and reach out? I love that concept of service, of helping others, and really looking for the needs of others. In my family, we term that others thinking. Like, have you thought about someone else lately? What do you see as a need right here? And it pulls them from always looking at themselves to try and look without. And it is a powerful concept. So this is fantastic. I love it. Stephanie says bravery versus courage. Wow, great point. Thank you, Stephanie, for chiming in. That is true. It is such a great distinction where sometimes we might muddle it a bit. So thank you so much for that. That's great. Simon Cheddar, keep on whispering in Donna's ear. This is fantastic stuff here.
It is great. And what I love about this book and this series is I want to tell kids that you don't have to do something giant. Sometimes just those words of encouragement or those words of friendship or that understanding to a friend can change their entire life because they may not be getting that anywhere else. And that's kind of the underlying story between Catt and Simon. They were enemies. They didn't trust each other, and they have become friends and interwoven their lives, and they're very dependent on each other. In book two, Catt says right before she jumps out of the plane that she can't live in this world or any other without Simon. He is like the oxygen that she breathes because he makes her better.
That's fantastic. In that world of understanding how we can rely on each other, we can inspire each other, what do you feel could possibly be in the future for these amazing characters?
Well, I think that they're going to go on through superhero school, and I have the superhero school as the background, but the ultimate story here is you don't need a school to teach you how to be a superhero. You have every tool that you need already to go out and do the things. The only part is you have to actively use your brain and your heart together. And so that's kind of what I wanted to show. They're going to continue on and they're going to expand. They're going to expand beyond the superhero school. We've already got a spin-off series coming probably the first of the year with one of the one of the mysterious characters, Ricky Rent. He's kind of a street rat with just a little more street savvy, and he's going to get his own series about how he, grew up really hard and rough, and how he has kind of changed his attitude since meeting the superhero school students. So, yeah.
Interesting. Again, showing how we feed off of each other and can influence each other. You might have skills and street smarts, right, that you're bringing into the table, and other people might be able to really go, wow, I could really learn from some of that. And while you're bringing that, you then can see what they've brought to the table and think, that might be a great idea to try. I think that's the whole concept of how and why we need so much social connection and understanding, because we actually build each other in a better way when we can connect and collect together. So that is really exciting. I love how you're already thinking about spin-offs, seeing how more characters can develop, because as we all know, this whole life journey, we don't learn everything that we need just when school's over. It's a great foundation, and it leaps us into so many, more opportunities to learn. I think the power that's within these books is really that it's true power. And it might just be encased in such a way where it's simple enough, yet to the point enough, yet they still have to dig and put things together. And that's what makes a great story. So you are a fantastic storyteller, and this is really exciting. So why don't you hold up that book and let's show it off here. Everyone, she has been nominated for an Author Academy Award. This is a global nomination, and we are collecting votes from now through July 31st at midnight. So please vote, vote, vote for her. Donna, say that name of your book loud and proud.
It is With the Courage of a Mouse.
Excellent. With the Courage of a Mouse. And she'll be on page 4. Is that right?
Actually, I looked it up right before we come on here. It is actually page 3, which is the children's middle grade category.
Okay, so page 3 of 16. Go there and look for the adorable mouse and vote. Let's see if we can help her gather these votes and make that top 10 nomination so she can move on into more judging and get this award for this book. You're in some incredible competition, but really it's about making the effort and going through. What do you think Simon Cheddar thinks about you entering this book into the contest?
Well, of course, Simon wants to be, front and center always. I really have to kind of wrestle the mic away from him when he comes to visit me for events. That's why he is not here today. But Simon would say, go read the book, go vote for the book. It's an amazing book. I've gotten some pretty good accolades already for this book and this series, and I'm thrilled. But you know what? I just want readers. Even if I don't win, just go read the book. Read the book. I hope that you get all the love and joy that I felt and wanted to portray in this book and this series. It is my love letter to my children, this book series, to my children, to my grandchildren, and to their children, because what I have to say right now may not be here forever, but I can put it in a book and they can refer to it even after I'm moved on.
What a legacy to leave with not just your own family, but I love how that is the focus and that is the motivation, but to expand it out to anyone that reads this. This is a fantastic opportunity for anyone out there. If you have these stories within you, get them on paper, get them writing. Donna has shared some amazing things about what she felt in her heart that needed to be shared with her children and grandchildren, possible great-grandchildren, as well as with all of the other people, in the whole world. Thinking about as a teacher, when I taught 5th grade, one of my favorite things to do was after lunch, we hit the books, and I sat them around just like it would be in a 2nd or a 3rd grade classroom, on the carpet, on the mat, all over the place, and I read to them. and we would just dive into books. And sometimes it would be an hour later, I'd be like, oh, whoops, we gotta get back to gotta get back to history. But they're like, oh, please, one more page. And they were on the edge because we picked topics that were relevant to them. We wanted to share and engage. And for many of those students, that was going to be the only reading from an adult that they would have through the entire day, possibly for the entire week. So I made it a crucial point to never miss reading time. And so with all my fifth grade teachers out there, grab some of these books and share. The power within this is fun, but it's also impactful, and that is great. Kathy says, congrats, Donna. It sounds wonderful. This is fantastic.
I just have one more thing to add, and it's like sometimes, as grandparents or parents of older children, we feel like that, that we're separated from that. And what I have to tell you is, since this has all been going on, I read every single night with my grandkids. Yes, I have to do it over a video call, but you know what? That's the beauty of what we have available now. I allow them to choose whatever book they want. We all take turns reading during that time. We're reading 8 different books right now, and it's amazing because they are excited about whatever I'm reading. I'm excited about whatever they're reading, and it makes us want to come back. And I can't tell you how much their reading and comprehension and their vocabulary has expanded just since we started doing this at the end of March. So if you feel like you have no impact with your children or your grandchildren, pick up a book. Be the example, create that, that moment when they're going to read, because it's an education that will last their lifetime, and it teaches them more than the story inside the book.
That's right. It teaches so much more. The words are impactful, but it is relational. It is the memory building blocks of your life, and they will always remember, this whole epidemic, the whole thing. They'll say, like, actually, it was one of the greatest things ever because we got to learn and read with grandma.
Right.
So what an impact, talk about making those lemons into lemonade. That is fantastic. Thank you, Donna. I'm sure that has spurred off a lot of information and some great ideas for all those listeners out there. And we are so glad everyone showed up tonight. It has been a wonderful opportunity to listen, to know how we can embrace the courage that we have, and to understand that it is for others that we share this. Bravery comes from with us, but to go out and help others takes the real courage. So thank you so much, Donna. Hold up that book one more time so we can get a picture in our head to know what we're voting for. And go for it, everybody. Please vote, share them with her. She's got so many more books coming out in the works, and this is fantastic. Teachers out there, grab these. We will put all of the links below in the comments to her website. It's been scrolling here on the bottom, as well as to her Amazon site, to where you could purchase the book. Also the voting, and it's on page 3. Even though I made a mistake of 4, it's on page 3. And so we'll share all of that information for you, because we want you to enjoy this just as much as Donna. So any parting words, Donna, before we shut this down?
Well, I just hope that, if you read my book or you read somebody else's book, that you find that knowledge and that adventure between the covers, because that's why we do what we do. Is we want to take you out of your world into ours and maybe share something that we know with you.
Wonderful. Well said. Everyone, thank you for this wonderful evening, and we will catch you tomorrow night at 7:30 for our next interview. Thank you so much, Donna. You've been a pleasure to talk with. We'll see you.